What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren. You're watching the Valentines, and in this episode, Daniel and I are canning this beautiful chocolate bourbon sauce, or bourbon chocolate sauce. We are making this for gifting for the holiday season, as well as for ourselves, and it is one of the most delicious things that I have ever canned. Aside from maybe the caramel sauce, I'll link that video if you're interested in that one. And it's super easy. We're doing this in a water bath canner. I'm gonna go through and just kind of show you our process, and we're enjoying it with a really special treat towards the end of the video. And as always, I wanted to give the disclaimer that I do things my way in my kitchen. Not all of my recipes follow all of the tested recipes. This is definitely an untested recipe. So you do you, and always refer to the National Center for Home Food Preservation for the safest, most up-to-date guidelines on canning. But stay tuned, because this is going to be a really delicious video.
So here's what you're going to need, and keep in mind I'll have the whole recipe listed in the description. You're going to need 2.5 cups of water, 6 cups of sugar, 2 cups of chocolate chips or cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons vanilla, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. Not pictured, you're also going to need 1/2 cup of bourbon, which is of course optional. So the first thing that you're going to do is combine your water and your sugar in a saucepan and heat that until it dissolves and eventually comes to a boil. So you can see how bubbly it gets and the mixture really expands. So you need to keep an eye on this and continue stirring the whole time. We want to avoid the mixture burning and scorching on the bottom of the pot, which can happen easily. Once the water and sugar are up to a boil, we're just going to add in our chocolate chips and let those begin to melt. And then one by one, we're just going to add in the rest of our ingredients. I like to use pink Himalayan salt. I went a little overboard, but I like it that way, so no big deal there. We're also adding the corn syrup. No, it's not good for you, but this is just a treat, not something that we're going to eat all the time, and it does help the texture of the recipe to come together. We're also adding vanilla. Now, if I make this again, I'm going to add less vanilla because the bourbon adds so much flavor. But if you're choosing to not add the bourbon, definitely go ahead and add a decent amount of vanilla. And then you can see it just really comes together. Next up, we're adding Woodford Reserve bourbon. Be really careful, guys. Check out how much this bubbles up when you add liquid to the mixture. So you want to go slow, be safe, and add just a little bit at a time. In fact, Daniel did not know that this was going to happen, and I warned him just in time. So now Daniel is ladling into each of the jars, leaving a 1/4 inch of headspace. It's important to note that since we are water bathing this recipe longer than 10 minutes, we did not have to pre-sterilize our lids and rings. We're actually going to water bath it for 15 minutes, so that will take care of the sterilization for us. Never forget the all-important step of wiping the rims of the jars so that they can create a good seal. We're adding the lids and bands, and remember to keep your bands finger tight, and these are very hot, so Daniel's using a towel to help him get them closed. And now they are ready to go into the jacuzzi. You want to add them into an already heated water bath canner and just nestle them in there as much as you can. And again, these are going to water bath for 15 minutes. Minutes later, they'll come out of the water bath. We like to just put them on a clean kitchen towel on the counter to allow them to come down to room temperature. Now, this is where you just want to leave them alone and let them sit. I let them sit overnight, and this is where you'll start hearing the ping, ping, ping of the jar sealing, and you want to wait till the next day to check them so that you're not creating a false seal.
Look beautiful.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they cool down to room temperature, how thick they get.
So I have a jar that I've opened because I wanted to show you guys the consistency at room temperature. This is what we were going for. If we wanted a thicker sauce, we could have simmered it longer to reduce it. But one of the first ways we are enjoying it is over some salty, buttery popcorn. And guys, it was seriously delicious. I also like to use this in my coffees to make mocha. Let's see what else. Of course, ice cream, pies, cookies, pretty much any dessert where you want to add a chocolate sauce. Marshmallows, delicious. So these are our beautiful finished products, which I will label and put into the pantry. So I take my rings off because those are not necessary for storage. I always like to wipe down the outsides in case there was any siphoning and any chocolate got on the outside. And then I label them with a permanent marker on the top. Now, because we're going to be making like our homestead gift baskets with these, I'll also be printing a more beautiful label to go on these. But for now, it's best to label them right when you're done so that you don't forget what they are. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video and all of my other videos. Please put questions below in the comments. I really do try to respond to everyone, and it's been so wonderful to have back and forth conversations about canning. And please do subscribe. I have 2 videos a week on all things homegrown and homemade. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.